today is December the 31st. I'm out here, I'm on the shores of Fort Patrick Henry Lake here in Kingsport, Tennessee. And so one of the things that I wanted to do today, and I mentioned this in yesterday's video, is I wanted to go over our goals for 2020. And so one of the things that was rather difficult this year is I had a hard time just because of life and just different aspects of being able to produce videos and content for you guys. So first of all, to the people who have been watching the videos, thank you. One of the things that I really expected is I expected the channel kind of to grow a little bit faster than it did. And you know, right now we're sitting at that 30 subscriber mark, and man, it has been a blast this past year. Man, as I think about 2019, there's a couple of things that really stand out to me. Number one, I was able to learn. And really what I mean by that is I was able to learn how to utilize my Humminbirds, my Solix units, my Onyx units, and being able to utilize mapping and my imaging to find and to locate and to ultimately catch fish. And so, man, that was just an awesome thing for me this past year. So as we look into 2020, there's some goals that we have, or that I have. And there's going to be kind of personal goals and then, you know, kind of goals for the channel. And so, you know, when I think about the personal goals that I have, all of them have to do really with techniques. This year, one of the techniques that I set out really to try to grasp and to learn more about was deep cranking. And I was able to do that. So going into 2020, one of the things that I want to focus on, one of the few of the techniques that I'm going to really try to learn how to utilize is drop shotting. I've always used a drop shot, but I've never learned how to drop shot. There's a difference between doing it some and knowing how to use it, when to use it, and where to use it. And so in 2020, for me personally, I'm going to learn how to drop shot. Another bait that I'm really going to focus on in 2020 is the Ned rig. The Ned rig is just a bait that catches fish, and it catches fish when the conditions are extremely tough. And so when we go into 2020, that is another technique that I'm really going to focus on. But the technique that I'm really going to try to learn how to use in 2020 is big swim baits. You know, I live here in East Tennessee, and we have some really big fish, but I don't think we get to really see the class fish that we have, because everyone here in East Tennessee, probably but for a handful of people, throw relatively small lures. And so in 2020, there's one thing that I'm focusing on is big swim baits. And for me, you know, big is relative to where you live. And so the two baits that I'm really going to focus on throwing in 2020 is the 6-inch Huddleston. You know, take Patrick Henry Lake here right behind me. There are trout in this lake, and I know for a fact that the bass are feeding on those trout. Another bait that I'm going to focus on in 2020 is a big glide bait. And this falls into that swim bait category. And the particular one that I'm really going to try to learn how to fish is the Storm Arachi Glide. And I've already purchased it, can't wait to throw it. And so for personal fishing, those are my goals for 2020. Is I'm going to learn how to drop shot. I'm going to learn, you know, how to fish a Ned rig, and I'm going to learn how to utilize big swim baits to catch those bigger than average fish. But I know what you're probably thinking. Well, what about the channel? What are your goals for 2020 with the channel? And so I'm going to really quickly go through those goals, some things that I want to see happen in 2020 with the channel. And number one is I want to grow, the subscribers. Right now I have 30 subscribers, and one of the things that I'm going to try to do in 2020 is I'm going to try to bump that to around that 300 mark. And it's going to take help from you guys, and I'm going to need you guys' help to grow the channel. As of right now, I'm averaging a 95 percentile of unsubscribed viewers. And so, man, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed to the channel, why don't you do something? Why don't you click that subscription button down here in the corner and subscribe to the video? Number two, I'm going to try to focus in 2020 on more content. I've been basically averaging one video a month, and I think that's kind of hurting the growth of the channel. And ultimately, I want to be able to help you guys out. And so in 2020, I'm going to be trying to utilize and trying to put out at least one video a week. And they're going to be tips, they're going to be tricks, they're going to be fishing trips. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff in 2020. But the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to in 2020 is I am starting a series here on the channel, and it's entitled The Pursuit. As I said, I live in East Tennessee, and we have some absolute giant smallmouth that roam our lakes. Lakes like Watauga, South Holston, Cherokee, Patrick Henry here behind me. There are some absolute giant smallmouth. And so over the next year, there are going to be 12 episodes of me pursuing a 6 to 7 pound smallmouth. And basically it's kind of going to be this kind of vlog type video of me trying to catch that monster smallmouth. I know they're in the lakes behind me. I know that you can catch them. I've just got to focus in on trying to catch those big smallmouth. And that's what we're going to do in 2020 with that particular series. And so, man, I hope you guys are excited. I know I am. So before we end this video, I do want to thank each and every one of you for this past year. It's been an awesome year, but I'm looking forward to 2020. I hope you guys are as well. And as we go into 2020, I'm going to try to keep my focus on my family, my faith. I'm so thankful for Jesus Christ and what he's done for me. And then I'm going to try to focus on fishing, and not just fishing for fish. I'm going to try to, focus, as Jesus says, to be a fisher of men. And so if there's any way I could ever help you guys, my email is on the channel. Shoot me an email. I would love to help you guys out. If you want to know more about Jesus, I would love to share what Jesus Christ can do for you. And so for those of you who are tuning in, maybe new to the channel, do a couple things for me. Number one, like this video. Comment down below some of your goals for 2020. What are some things that you're going to try to do with your fishing, with your family, maybe with your faith? And then finally, if you're not subscribed to the channel, why don't you hit that subscription button down here in the corner? And I look forward to hearing from you guys. It's the last day of 2019, last day of the decade. And so as we go into 2020, let's keep our focus, and let's try to have some fun and catch some big, giant fish and catch a lot of them. Once again, guys, thanks for tuning in this afternoon, and we'll catch you later, and Happy New Year.